Hello my friends and welcome back. New week, Monday. Happy Monday to you. Today night, yesterday and today night, it started in the evening. It was one of the biggest Russian drone and missile attacks against Ukraine and one of the biggest Ukrainian drone attacks against Russia. So they kind of exchanged drones. Such a weird thing, both of them doing this massive attack against each other. So there might have been a point where both of their sides' drones were up in the air and crossing like that, going to the targets. First of all, I've divided this first part into two, actually. Drone attacks on Ukraine and on Russia, because there's many videos of both sides trying to shoot down the enemy's drones, on both sides of the enemy's drones actually connecting to the targets. So I'll go through most of these videos, the most important ones or the best ones, because if there's anything very cool, I also want to show it to you. We'll start with attacks on Ukraine, so Russian attacks on Ukraine. Russians sent out over 300 Shahed drones. Now we're so used to it. Oh, Shahed, they're sending out hundreds, yada yada, such a repetitive thing. But what they do is they send these hundreds of Shaheds, and on top of that they send cruise and ballistic missiles. Now Ukrainians shoot down most of the Shaheds, almost all of the cruise missiles, but they don't shoot down ballistic missiles. They do try, but ballistics are incredibly difficult to take down, even for Patriots sometimes. And on this video you can see a Russian Iskander M missile landing on Chernihiv. Look at that. Makes a hell of a kaboom, comes in extremely fast. I mean, it is ballistic, meaning it's very fast. Very difficult to take down, and in this instance it connected. And why these Shaheds are an issue is that they saturate Ukrainian air defense capabilities, and then cruise missiles are sent, and after that ballistic missiles are sent. So ballistics, the most capable weapon system Russia has, comes in as Ukrainian air defenses are low on ammo or has to change positions or are targeting other Shahed drones. This update comes from Ukrainian intelligence, and I quote, "Last year, the Kremlin was producing around 300 Shahed drones a month. The same number now rolls out in under 3 days. So in 1 year, a monthly production rate has been pushed down to 3 days only. That's many times increase." Ukrainian military intelligence says it has documents that suggest that Russia plans to increase its drone production to 500 per day, suggesting that attack swarms of 1,000 could become a reality. Again, Shaheds are relatively easy to take down, even with heavy machine guns, if you have plenty of crews around big cities. The thing is, they will send other more capable missiles and drones after Shaheds. That's the issue. And yes, Russians are massively ramping up their productions of Shaheds. Or produced in Russia, it's called Geran 2. It's basically a Shahed, but produced in Russia. And they're making insane amounts of them. Imagine Third Reich military production factories just rolling out planes and tanks. That's what we're talking about. In this video, we can see a Ukrainian F-16 up in the air shooting down a Shahed with a sidewinder missile. I mean, okay, sorry, we cannot see it. It's dark, but we know what's happening here. I'll fast forward to you. It's all dark. Suddenly you see a flash here. That's the sidewinder. It's, searches the Shahed, finds it, hugs it. A beautiful warm explosion happens and the Shahed goes down. So what I want to say to you with this video is Ukrainians are using everything they have to take down these Shaheds, because if they don't, civilian people will suffer, because they hunt civilians mostly. They connect to civilian areas and they have massive amount of explosives on them. So in this instance, F-16s. But that's not the only thing. They also use choppers. They cannot use them for ballistic missiles. It's just not possible. But they can use them for cruise missiles and Shahed drones. And you can see here a Ukrainian Apache AH-64 shooting down a Shahed with its machine gun. Just a machine gunner on board. Since the Shaheds are slow, boom, taking it down. So we have F-16s, we have choppers. What else do they have? Of course, Patriots. And here in this video you can see it. Now I gotta remind you, each flash you see here costs $4 million. It's PAC-3 Patriot missiles, it's Kyiv, so they're trying to take down ballistic missiles here. And each flash you see coming from the ground up, it's $3 to $4 million. So it's massively expensive to use Patriots to shoot down ballistic missiles. I'll fast forward. Now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God, there's so many. It resembles Iron Dome from Tel Aviv or any city in Israel that has it. Looks the same actually. And you can see Shaheds connecting to the ground here. So they use Patriots, SAMP-T, they use everything they have. But of course, Patriot and SAMP-T are designed to focus only on ballistic missiles, not Shaheds. Because if Russia could make Ukraine use their Patriot missiles on Shaheds, that would be a massive win for Russia. And okay, we got Patriots, we got missiles, anti-air defense missiles, but in the end, the most Shaheds are shot down always with heavy machine guns, with tracers, and you can see it right here. I guess there's a Shahed right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm guessing 5 different tracer round lines coming up, 5 different crews focusing down this one Shahed right here in the crossfire. So most of the Shaheds will be taken down with these German Gepards, and sometimes with just Brownings with air defense. Brownings with night vision capabilities or heat vision sights, because Shaheds give out a lot of heat since they have an internal combustion engine. So yeah, you can just shoot them down with your eyes. You see it, you aim it, you shoot at it. That's how you do it. Alright, now, I know you've been waiting for it since I'm also done with seeing how Russians hit Ukrainians. Let's see how Ukrainians hit Russians, because Ukrainians hit back with a massive drone attack on Russian cities. Let me show you the cities where civilians shot videos and uploaded them of Ukrainian drones over Russia. We got Ryazan, Tula, Bryansk, Lipetsk, Tambov, Kursk, Belgorod, let's say Belgorod, Rostov-on-Don, Sevastopol, occupied Crimea. We got plenty of cities right here. We're seeing 4 oblasts in general, even 5 I think, covered with Ukrainian drones. Looks like it will be another fun-filled night in Russia. Ukrainian drone alerts and drones being reported are already being issued for the Kursk, Bryansk, Belgorod, Lipetsk, Tula area. I read it all to you. It's a big list. Let's get to the videos. This first video, Russians are using not even heavy machine guns, but just their own Kalashnikovs. They noticed a drone. Let's see what happens. 3 to 4 guys are taking aim and shooting. Full auto. Yep. And they managed to destroy it. There's like 4 to 5 guys here. Another guy's down there. I'm guessing like 12, 13, 14 guys were hitting on this drone and they hit it. Just to illustrate, yeah, they did it, but it's massively difficult to shoot down a drone with a Kalashnikov with automated fire. It's almost impossible. If you have a lot of guys concentrating fire, it's possible, like in this instance, but usually this doesn't happen. They're so happy about it. Now, Russian citizens not so used to these drones, but they will have to learn since it's their government doing this war on Ukraine. This is Yelets, Russia, air alert, and people running in panic on the streets because they now have to discover that they are the terror here, and it's coming back on them. It's karma, or it's Ukrainian drones delivering presents. Yelets citizens getting their share of war that they started. Okay, we watched Russian small arms anti-air fire. Now let's watch the best thing they have, which is S-300 and S-400. Well, in this instance, I'm guessing it's S-300 since look what it does. I'm showing you 2 videos of yesterday how Russians attempted to shoot down Ukrainian drones. S-300 came here, makes a little thingy and connects back to the ground. It's a malfunctioning missile, air defense rocket, and it just failed and fell on somebody, I guess. But yeah, they do that a lot because their S-300 rockets are sometimes quite old. They're not the best quality, they're not the best accuracy. So that happens. And just to illustrate that, I'm not nitpicking videos. I mean, it happened twice in different areas with different launchers. This is another area the Russians are trying to shoot down Ukrainian drones. And check it out. Boom. Their air defense missile again connects to the ground. Is there one more? Maybe I can see one more. No. All right. Well, 2 different areas, 2 different launchers, 2 different missiles. It goes to show what S-300 is worth. Same goes for S-400. I mean, it can shoot down a jet, a fighter jet, definitely. But it's having difficulties with these smaller drones. So, when Ukrainians launched this massive drone attack, I mean, okay, it was yesterday, but on May 20 to 22, Ukrainians also launched many drones into Russia. At this time, Putin was in Kursk, or one of his stunt doubles, play Putins, whatever you want to call them, was in Kursk. And then Ukrainians launched a massive attack on Kursk. So now Russians are spreading this narrative that Ukrainians are trying to take out Putin. I kind of like it. I'll read you the subtitles. From May 20th to 22nd, the enemy attempted to carry out a massive strike using fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles on the territory of the Russian Federation. During this period, air defense systems destroyed 1,177 of enemy's unmanned aerial vehicles. Damn, my boy, you live in delusions. We just saw how the S-300s did with these slow and low and loud Ukrainian drones. Well, they fired on themselves, basically. So I don't know how they destroyed 1,100 drones, but this guy believes it. And during this attack, the Russian president was working in the Kursk region. Absolutely correct. At the time when the president was working in the Kursk region, the enemy launched an unprecedented attack. Wow, I like what I'm hearing. With unmanned aerial vehicles, the air defense, it goes on for too long. Well, anyway, he claims that Ukrainians saturated their drones into the area, into the flight path of Putin away from Kursk. So Putin was flying in a chopper away from Kursk, and Ukraine is supposedly trying to saturate in this flight path. And no, it's an info op. No, not real. I mean, there might be a coincidence that some drones were at the same time where Putin's chopper was, but the specific attack was not planned to assassinate Putin with drones while he's flying on a chopper. Don't ask me why Russians are pushing these narratives. They are winning from them. They might be only for United States administration. They might be for European leaders. It's different goals for different administrations all across the world. Russians are playing these narratives. So I showed you S-300s and now they failed. But now I'm gonna show you Russians firing on their own aircraft. It might be civilian. Russian air defense likely targeted their own aircraft over Tver overnight, initially reported as Tu-160, possibly civilian. It's reported 5 drones downed in Tver region. Local military airfield got attacked. But check this out. Now, I'm sorry, you're gonna ask Denis Davidov, he knows more about planes, but this could as well be civilian. They're targeting you with small arms and heavy machine guns. Look at it, you can see the tracers. If it is civilian, it's reported, by the way, that they scored some hits on the plane, but it landed safely. But yeah, this happens in Russia a lot. They don't know which ones are drones, which ones are their own planes, so they just kind of shoot everything. And this is how we hear blue on blue. I mean, in Russian case, red on red, chopper taken down or plane taken down. So on this massive attack yesterday, Ukraine has sent a lot of drones on Moscow Oblast also. And then we saw 19, I mean it says 9 here, but it was 19 Russian government aircraft. You can see their codes up on the screen here. You can see where they flew. They were all flying east. So either they were evacuating away from this massive Ukrainian drone attack, or they're all taking a collective vacation together in the east somewhere as the government. Well, these are government planes. So they're carrying the government, 19 of them at the same time. I guess it's the whole damn government. So either, yeah, they want to make a little collective break, to have a smoking break, smoke carelessly in the east somewhere, or maybe they're running away from the Ukrainian drone attack. We don't know yet. But let's see what the Grok AI says. The unusual movement of Russian government aircraft on May 25th likely relates to Ukrainian drone attacks on Moscow, prompting a possible evacuation to officials to safer location like Yekaterinburg. Nah, man, I'm saying they want to carelessly smoke, but Moscow is too dangerous. They want to go to Far East and they can light their cigarettes and nothing's gonna happen to them. They're not gonna spontaneously combust. All right, next target, which is the Azot chemical plant in Russia. And you can see the kaboom right here. So when the Russians shot down these 1,000 Ukrainian drones, as they claim, they didn't shoot down this one, which just hugged this chemical plant. Very nice. That's all I'm gonna say. And now, my friends, a video I have been waiting for 3 years, and for some reason I saw one of these videos in 2022, Bayraktar hitting a Russian fuel train. After that, I didn't see any videos of Ukrainian drones hitting Russian fuel trains until now. I bring to you Gur hunting down a Russian fuel train in occupied Ukraine. On May 24th, Ukrainian Gur struck a Russian fuel train in occupied Zaporizhzhia on the Verkhnye Tokmak Molochansk Fedorivka. Damn, I fail with these names. Rail line. This is the new rail line they built. Like they built it in like 1 year, and it's fully a military railway line. Let's enjoy it, since I've been waiting for this for 3 years, and this makes me feel like the king of the castle, you know? Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Carrying military diesel. Look at these juicy fuel tanks. Look at this juicy barbecue. I guess somebody smoked extremely carelessly on this train. Look at this juicy little nice bonfire they made. Beautiful. Many drones connected to this train to give it a nice little kiss and hug. And you see in the video what happened to the train. It's spontaneously combusted. Very nice. My friends, today I don't have 5 new Buy Me a Coffee monthly members to you, but we have 3, and one of them is massively massive because became a big member. Yazon Betnault, you became one of the biggest members we have this year, so I gotta give you the credit. I'm gonna say your name twice. Yazon Betnault, thank you so much. Silver Eart, Elizabeth Kpaer. Thank you to these 3 people. If you want to make this list 5 instead of 3, you gotta join up on Buy Me a Coffee monthly membership. Link is in the description below. Now, my friends, I want to introduce you to a very merciful Russian soldier. Actually, a woman soldier, a woman mercenary. And she is having a hard time understanding why Ukrainians are so mean to her. So let's all watch this video and feel bad for her. You know, there are so many comments coming from Ukraine, from its citizens, saying that my husband will come back in a body bag, in pieces, that I'll die there myself, and so on. They write so many vile things, so much filth, I realize now. Generous, sentimental, and compassionate. How compassionate we are, she's talking about the Russians. Those of us living here in Russia, I would never, at least I don't have it in me, to say such things about Ukraine, about body bags and all of that nastiness. That kind of thing just doesn't exist in my head. And I'm truly proud of that. I was born and raised in Russia, and I'm a patriot. Well, this woman needs to be educated. She has no idea what her countrymen are doing in Ukraine. We should show her pictures of Bucha. We never forget them. Ukrainians will never forget them, and she hasn't seen them because she's having a hard time understanding why Ukrainians are so mean to her. Well, I guess she also doesn't know that Russia just launched 300 Shahed drones with civilian casualties on Ukrainian civilian areas with no military presence. There are children among those. I think we need to educate this woman. Now, my friends, I bring you another clueless individual. This one even more clueless than the last one we just watched. I bring you to Donald Trump, the American president. One of the most clueless presidents in the world ever has been in the US. Check it out. He's totally clueless.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kyiv and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about that?
And I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Trump is just a clueless, weak-ass person. Because honestly, I'm going to tell you, I've said it many, many times. There's a certain way to speak the Russian language. Not the Russian language, but the way they communicate. So the Russian Federation, the terrorist state that they are, it's a language of violence and force. It is a language. You can talk in this language, but then you gotta talk in this language. You cannot use words against this language. Trump is speaking. He's a speaker. He just talks with Putin. And now he's a bit surprised why Putin is sending rockets to Kyiv, as he says. Well, my friends, I'm gonna translate it to you. Listen carefully. If you talk to the Russians and they are using their army, they will take your words as a sign of weakness. You're basically giving them permission to attack you any way they can. This is how they read this language. This is the language they speak. So there's no surprise if you are using words and they are using missiles. There's no surprise they're using even more missiles after that, because you just told them you're weak. This is the language they speak. Here, you know it now, Mr. Trump. You can now re-evaluate your position on Russia. You can now understand that you have showed Russia that you are super weak and you only want to talk. Only actions, only weapons are the ones that actually communicate with Russia. All right, I'll bring you another viewpoint since I always talk here. Maybe it's better if you hear somebody else also. I am sorry, my friends. I don't know who this woman is. I just watched the clip and it's pure truth. So maybe I'll just let her speak.
For him, Putin's goal is to win the war, not to have war not happen in and of itself. And he has accomplished many of the goals of his presidency through the use of war. Putin came to power 25 years ago by waging a war in Chechnya. He doesn't have a long record of ending wars with peace talks. He has a long record of remilitarizing Russian society in ways that aggrandize his own role and the role of the state. He has potential domestic political problems were he to end the war and then be accountable for all the deaths, especially if he didn't achieve the stated goals of the war. And he's also defined the war in very existential terms. If you say that Ukraine doesn't exist as a real state, that it's an illegitimate state, it's very hard to just go ahead and be like, oh, but actually Donald Trump asked so nicely.
So yeah, it's another way to say it. Putin does not want to end the war. He needs the war and he cannot end the war. He cannot allow it to happen. He cannot afford it. It's going to be massively expensive to him to end that war because Russian military-industrial complex is the only thing that holds Russian economy going, the gears running. So he cannot afford to stop that. So I don't know what Trump is trying to do, but he is clueless as hell. Putin needs this war and he's gonna keep it going. But he wants to buy time with Trump, Expect it soon. Any kind of special envoy meeting is going to happen soon. Every time he meets with Keith Kellogg or somebody like that, he buys himself another month from Trump. That's how it is. Just playing around with him, cat with a mouse. Let's watch statistics for anybody who might be watching who thinks Russian army is big and invincible and will take over Ukraine. Check it out. Ukrainian forces stopped Russia's advance, forcing Moscow to spend over 160,000 lives. That's casualties, that's not KIAs. KIAs of it is like 1/3. This year, they gained just 1,600 square kilometers, less than 0.7% of Ukraine. So almost only 1% of territory gained in the last year. It's very important to put this statistic in your head and understand that Russians are not advancing almost anywhere at all. There's such a marginal amount they're advancing that you cannot even mention it. Russia hasn't taken a major Ukrainian city since 2022 and now loses around 1,500 troops per day. Ukrainian forces have also degraded Russian armored fleet, which is almost non-existent since they mostly use scooters and motorcycles now. Moscow has already lost over 3,000 tanks and now relies on refitted T-62s and T-55 pulled from deep Soviet-era storage. Hey, if this goes on, America never needs to retire their A-10 Warthogs because the A-10 was created to take down these very tanks, T-62s, T-55s and T-72s. If you have the A-10s, they're gonna make minced meat out of these tanks. You don't have to retire them because they were designed for specifically these tanks, and Russia only has them left. They produce a few hundred T-90s and T-80s, but that goes in a few days on the front. Russia produces only 200 new tanks annually. Well, the number is bigger. It's about 500, but still, compared to how much they lose, it's nothing. Ukrainian fortification in eastern Ukraine, anti-tank obstacles, electronic warfare and FPV drones have stalled Russian advances for a year. Yeah, as I said, 1% for the last 365 days. If you think about that statistics, there's no way. It would take them like 200,000 years to take Ukraine with this. And if anybody thinks they have some kind of trick up their sleeve, well, they do. It's nuclear weapons, but nothing else. Every man they have, every weapon they have, it goes straight to the front. There are no secret reserves that they're about to use. They're using everything they have. Russians failed to break through near Avdiivka, Bakhmut, Chasiv Yar, key targets in Donetsk Oblast. Yes, they took Avdiivka and Bakhmut, but that's it. They took it and then stopped. That's where it went. Their forces ran out. They bleed themselves empty on these cities. So now, my friends, I want to introduce you to the modern Russian army. I've spoken about this. Many Westerners don't understand that Russia really uses men for logistics, most of all. Camel troops, they're called. They have a specific caste or specific group of people, the lowest of the low, almost before refuseniks, camel troops. They are the ones who maybe refuse to go on position, so they will be degraded from assault troops to camel troops, and they just will be human camels as you hear it. This is what it is. I'm not kidding you or making fun of the Russians. I'm just trying to show you the reality of that army. This is a mortar set, right? So what is it, 81 millimeter? Correct me if I'm wrong here. And he's carrying that to the front, and they invented this new trolley, which can be dismounted or disconnected very tactically. Check it out. It only takes him a business danger. Disconnects it in 2 seconds, runs into action. So that is the modern Russian military with camel troops being able to carry trolleys like that and disconnect them in 2 seconds and connect with the enemy. Wow, that's modernization. Now some good news also, my friends. There was the biggest prisoner of war exchange between Russia and Ukraine. It's so strange that they are exchanging prisoners. Actually, 1,000 on both sides were supposed to be exchanged. But at the same time, Russia sends massive attack to Ukraine with drones and vice versa. Ukraine sends hundreds of drones to Russia. At the same time, they're exchanging prisoners by tens of buses. And there's plenty of videos about it. These guys are so lucky. So lucky to get home, because it's Russia. You never know if you're going to get home. But yeah, in the span of 3 days, they're supposed to exchange 1,000, 2,000 prisoners. The numbers vary a little bit. This is great for Ukrainians because a massive amount of these people will go back into the army immediately. I've talked to many people who have been in prisoner in Russia while I was in Ukraine, and most of them, they're back in the army in like months, and they're very motivated after that. And I just want to give you this video well, this is one of the buses of the prisoners who have been in Russia over 2 years in a bus crossing the Russo-Ukrainian border, and they're so happy. Look at that. Crossing the border. And they're all clapping this. They're so happy. Singing the anthem. They are happy. They just won another life. Because if you go into Russian prison, you're going to stay there. So if you get home like that, you just won a lottery. You got another life for you. Now, my friends, I've spoken a lot in this video, like I do in every video. Almost always the same things I do speak. But we have new viewers, so I think some of the viewers maybe have not heard it yet or have not understood it. So many different viewpoints on the same topic are good. because people need different viewpoints to understand it. And I'm not going to push my agenda. I'm just going to allow viewers to understand it if they want to. So again, I bring you Mikhail Khodorkovsky, and he will say what I want to say, only with different words and with different intentions. But I agree with everything he says. I'm going to read you the subtitles. A lot of smart people have been thinking for 3 years how to resist Putin's war machine. And you know, I'm always fascinated when people refuse to accept the simple answer. Military force can only be countered by military force. That's it, period. But maybe we can do something with balloons and flashlights. You know, that's a metaphor for, you know, let's talk with him. Maybe we can reason with him. You cannot reason with a tiger if your head is in its mouth, Winston Churchill. No, you can't do it with balloons and flashlights. Only with military force. But maybe somehow with flowers. Maybe we can use flowers. Peace, understanding, love. You can't do it with flowers, only with military force. Maybe we can do it with some super sanctions. We'll ban them from buying coats, ban them from buying Louis Vuitton bags. And I'm going to say, yes, sanctions do hurt Russia a lot. But it's never going to change the mindset, the imperial mindset. It just takes away the monetary capabilities to fund war. But it's not going to change what they want in the head. Only military defeat changes that. Maybe that's how we can stop the tanks. No, you can't stop tanks this way. Tanks can only be stopped by military force. Sorry, I don't have another answer to you. Thank you, Khodorkovsky. This is all the truth we need to understand in the West. If you understand it, fully understand it, that no words are going to do nothing. You only have military action as a response. And if you only have that one action, why stall it? Let's just do it. It's the only thing we can do. Let's just do it now. Europe has enough weapons on its soil to end that war in a month. America has enough weapons on its soil to do the same. It's about political will. It's about understanding this issue. That no words are ever going to do it. No flowers, no balloons, no flashlights. And sanctions hurt the monetary income of the Russian Federation, but they will not destroy the imperial mindset, which can be destroyed by military defeat. We have seen it in Japan. We have seen it in Germany. It takes a military defeat to defeat an empire. My friends, I bring to you 4 extra videos actually. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then each Saturday members of the channel get extra analysis video. Last Saturday, so 2 days ago, can the Baltics hedge or defense stop the Russian army? In-depth analysis. And this is now public to everybody, but it was a members first for the first week. And if you want to see these videos, you gotta become a member. It's easy. You go to the channel, become a member of the channel. In the description of each video, you click here. It's only 99 cents a month. It's a recurring payment, but it's just so little that you don't notice it. And you get these extra videos only for you. And I talk about topics I don't really talk about on my regular videos, and I go deep into them. So yeah, see you in the memberships, my friends. And until my next video, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.